What's up, you guys? Welcome to another Day in the Life as an Adjuster vlog.
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad, they don't salute you. I need a bag.
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Keela Trishan, and I make videos on lifestyle, insurance, and mental health. I also do vlogs, day in the life in the insurance industry, day in the life with a small child, all the things. If that's something that interests you, go on ahead and click that subscribe button below. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for your support. All right, y'all. So, if you watched my last video, I think I put it out this past Sunday. Today is Tuesday as of the day of filming, but I was just kind of telling you guys about the craziness that's going on at work, like how busy it's been, like out of control busy, how I am looking for other roles because the adjuster role is getting old and all that jazz. We did have some relief that came, like some people were hired to kind of relieve us of some of the older claims that we had. So we've been kind of transitioning, some of the claims that have to like be babysat, claims that have like little sticky things that need to be addressed. Those have been transferred to some other employees. So that is a blessing. But I mean, I still have claims that I need to, address, obviously. My workload is workable right now, but I know that that's temporary because obviously claims are still coming in, situations still come in, all that jazz. I have a couple of like weird situations that I'm trying to work through. So the good thing is with those other claims being taken away, I do have some time to deal with them. I've had some claims that have been sent to large loss because in my area, I tend to get a lot of like bigger claims with like high-end homes, public adjusters, attorneys. I've explained this to you guys. So yeah, it'd be popping over here. So right now I'm actually working on a claim. It was a small garage. Not garage, I'm sorry. I think it was a garage that ended up being changed into like a little apartment type situation. So it's like a detached structure in the backyard of this home, but it had some damage to like drywall, some tile, things like that. The issue with this one is that, not to even get all into it, but my management didn't agree. And when I say management, I'm talking about one person, didn't agree with the coverage decision on this one. I mean, I had already made the coverage decision because of what I saw. It would be too much to kind of explain, but when you're dealing with water losses, there's like a lot of different things that you got to look at. Like there's sudden and accidental damage, from like a busted pipe or whatever. And then you've got long-term damage that you can kind of tell from the condition of the materials. In this particular situation, the materials are just old, not rotted. They're just old, but my management sees it as rotted. So, I've already extended coverage, so we're just basically working the claim. But this person did do some work on their home, like some additional work outside of what was damaged from the loss. So there's like a whole wall knocked out on like the other side of where the leak was. So I'm like, boo, what you doing? We're not paying for that. So I'm basically trying to go through her contractor's estimate and review the items that we owe versus like what's not owed, so I can prepare partial denial. That's going to take me some time, so I'm going to get to working on that. I already made a couple of payments, so I'm just going to email her and let her know what payments have gone out, and then let her know that I'm working on the payment or working on updating the estimate for the items that we do owe. Also, I have a few claims, like closed claims, where they've just come back asking for stuff or they didn't agree with something. So I'm working on that. It's so frustrating when you have those situations because you think you're done and you don't really be done. Like you ask these people, do you have anything else you want me to review? And then you don't get a response or whatever. And then as soon as you close that damn claim, they come back like,
oh, but wait, I actually need an additional $5,000 because remember, this right here was damaged.
No, I never knew that was damaged. So yeah, I got to go through those things too. So anyways, I wanted to film, today. Might go into tomorrow, depending on how much we get today. Just to kind of let you guys know what I'm doing, how I'm, surviving and all that jazz, and to get you guys out another vlog, because I know some of you guys are still interested in the adjuster role. Some of you guys are new to the role and all that. So I kind of, want to show what a day-to-day looks like. I will be working from home, so no inspections today. But yeah, I'll be checking in with you guys, at various points to let you know what's going on, what's been resolved versus what's still outstanding. So we issued that payment, and it's issued as a two-party payment. So it's going to go to, but it has your mom and dad's name on there. So when they get the check, they'll likely reach out to your mom and dad to get an endorsement so they can resolve it. But basically, those items are reviewed by our water mitigation department, and we got approval to go on ahead and make payment. So those have been resolved. That's why we do it as a two-party payment. So then they have to get like approval from the insureds, like being your mom and dad. So it goes to them. It goes to their address. They're listed as the first payee since it was their work that was done. But your mom and dad are listed on there as payee, so they have to like interact with them, get an agreement, and then get them to sign it so they can cash it. All right, you guys. So it's been a few hours since I have checked in. I actually had a call with my supervisor a little bit ago, just talking about a claim where the claim I was discussing with you guys earlier, where there was like more material removed than what was needed. Sounds like the vendor was doing some fraud and somebody actually got terminated behind it. They kind of swindled the customer into paying them directly. And now they've got more damage that the insurance company cannot pay for. So the call I was on earlier was about that. And yeah, I just had to tell my supervisor what was going on just in case there was like any type of backlash, which I don't think it's going to be any backlash against us. It's going to be against the company, and it's not our vendor. So it just kind of is what it is. But yeah, there's that. Then I just got a new claim. It is represented by a public adjuster, of course. And the only details that are in here are that there's water damage at the property. So I need to call, find out what's going on, and I'm going to try to set this inspection up for Friday. Looking at my calendar, I have another meeting tomorrow with my supervisor, like an actual set meeting, and then I've got a meeting, conference call with an attorney in the afternoon. So I don't want to plan anything in the middle of that because my day is just going to be completely shot. Then on Thursday, I've got a 2-hour training for some adjuster credits. So the next day I have available is Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and reach out and see if I can get this public adjuster on the phone so I can introduce myself and get some details on the loss. See you. Yeah, I just got the claim a little bit ago, so I just wanted to get the details on the claim and then, yeah, set up an inspection. Yes, I just got the claim, so I wanted to reach out and introduce myself. The file, is it a condo situation or it's a just a standalone residence? Okay, you guys, so I was just able to secure an inspection for Friday morning, which works out perfectly. It was the exact time that I was going to suggest, so I'm very happy about that. I can get it over with this week, and I don't have to push it into next week. I really try to get out to inspections as soon as I possibly can, especially when there is a public adjuster or attorney, because sometimes they'll just start ripping out stuff before we have a chance to take a look at it, and I do not want that to happen. So basically, it was a fire sprinkler that failed. Sounds like it was a fire. I'm reading my notes from the little call, but a fire sprinkler pipe that failed. Water has been turned off to the home right now, so it hasn't been fixed yet. It's going to be fixed in the morning. And yeah, they have a mitigation vendor that's on site right now. They have to do like testing, so they can't tear anything out. But I think it sounds like they are going to have to like tear out probably some drywall, potentially flooring, depending on what type of flooring there is, all that good stuff. I try to get out there as soon as possible because once you start having these vendors, sometimes they don't care what the insurance company says. They just start removing stuff. And you want to try to get out there as soon as possible so you can control the claim and get an agreement on scope so there's no surprises later. So my inspection is in 3 days, but then they still have to do testing and, you know, they have to fix the pipe and all that stuff. So there are things that need to take place prior to me coming out anyway. So I think that even if they do plan to, you know, remove material, it's likely not going to be till at minimum Friday next week anyway. So we're good there. But the reason why I wanted to talk about the source of loss, this is kind of like, you know, for my adjusters that are new into the industry or, you know, just kind of still trying to figure out coverage decisions. when you start, like if you hear something about like a sprinkler pipe or something like that, it's very important to get the location of that pipe. So when he said sprinkler pipe initially, I wasn't thinking like a fire sprinkler. I'm thinking like, the sprinkler for the grass. Now, if that's outside, there are limits and sometimes exclusions to water that like originates like outside of the home, coming into the home. There's a lot of exclusions on those things. And so I wanted to make sure that we were good. So this happened inside of the home. It sounds like a fire sprinkler that only services the home because it was in the attic. So I think we're good to go as far as coverage. The only thing that would hinder coverage would be if there is like evidence of like long-term, damage and stuff, which I don't think there is. They have the date of loss as today. So I'm pretty sure we're fine and everything was caught, like quickly. I'm wondering why they got a public adjuster so soon, but that's not always uncommon. Some people just like, they're just too busy to deal with it. So they'll get a public adjuster to handle the insurance company. So that could be what's going on, but I'm sure I'll get more information as we progress through the claim. So what I might do actually is have a mitigation vendor accompany me on site so they can do like a comp scope situation. So basically whatever this vendor that the insured hired is recommending can be kind of confirmed by our vendor. So I'm going to wait until I get the email and information and letter of representation from this public adjuster before I suggest that. And we'll just go from there. But yeah, so I mean, we're good to go. Basically, the biggest advice I can give you as an adjuster is to try to get ahead of the claim before it takes a hold of you. These bigger claims can get out of control quickly if you're not on top of stuff. So I recommend front loading. Like when you're going out to your inspection, if you can bring out a vendor to kind of confirm and deny, especially when the customer already has vendors involved, that's like my best course of action. Typically, I would engage like a contractor and I would also engage a mitigation vendor. The way we call out contractors is a little bit different now. Like they kind of changed our policy. So I think my best bet is just getting confirmation on scope. If I need to send out a contractor later on, I will. But yeah, as of right now, it's just a matter of getting ahead of everything. They're going to start doing their testing and stuff like that. I would prefer to send out testing, but typically when you have a public adjuster involved, they're going to send out their vendors or their contractors' vendors, So just control what you can. Try to get as much information as you can get on that first call. I know that it started in the attic, but it sounds like there's damage to both floors. It's a 2-story home. So I'm kind of going in with that mindset. I'm looking at the square footage on our system and it's a pretty big house. So that's another reason why I want to have a vendor, because sometimes the vendors have DocuSketch or what's the other one? Like a Matterport, and it basically will sketch the area for you instead of you having to like physically sketch everything on site. I don't want to be here all day, got other claims to work. So work smarter, not harder. But yeah, let me go on ahead and note the file with this information. And, like I said, once I get their letter of representation, then I'll be able to let them know, hey, I added you and now I'm going to engage a vendor to come and, kind of assist. So yeah, that's it right now. Other than that, I need to note the call that I had earlier because I called my supervisor first to discuss like what was going on with her. And then what else happened? Oh yeah, so I need to note that call, and then I need to send out a letter, like a reservation of rights on that particular claim. And then there are like a couple other things I need to review, but I'm going to probably push those things off until tomorrow when I have my meeting with my supervisor. So anyways, let me go on ahead and get back to work, but just wanted to let you guys see some of the calls and things that I have to do during the day. Hey y'all, so I'm back, and yeah, my bad for not coming back yesterday. So I'm trying to think what happened yesterday. Why didn't I come back? I was just like, I just had my head down and was just getting work done, honestly. But I told y'all that I was going to get this vlog done, so here we are. All right, so let's see. Today I logged in. I have a meeting with my supervisor at 8:30. We're going to discuss some claims. I talked to her briefly yesterday just about a situation that happened with the customer. I think I kind of went over that with you guys yesterday, so I'm not going to get into it again. But we talked for like a good minute, and then she moved our meeting up today to 8:30. What? Okay. She moved our meeting up to 8:30 because she has a meeting at like 10. So we're going to go over this estimate. I got a engineer report back. If you've never gotten an engineer report with like plans, they're kind of tricky to read. And even though I've read a bunch of them, they're still tricky for me. So basically, I have a customer that had 2 fires within like a very short period of time, but they were like on different sides of the home. And there is a public adjuster involved, and I am trying to figure out the claim that I'm handling. I just got the building plans back, and I need to like update the estimate because the contractor that we were using that was on our program is no longer on our program. It's like a whole like drama mess. So I was asking my supervisor, like, well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to send it to another consultant, or do you want me to just update it myself? I don't mind updating it myself because basically I can just like update the items that need to be updated and then close the claim. But I don't think it's going to be that simple. So she was like, we could just go over it in the morning and it could be like a learning experience. I'm good with that. So yeah, I'm actually trying to prepare for that now because I only have about like 20 minutes or so before we get on the phone. And then I'm going through the claims that I have on my desktop today. I try not to overload my desktop. Like that is a pro tip. You like typically, like each page will show like 15 to 20 activities. It's very hard to get through like even 15 activities, depending on how much you have to do. So I try to leave my activities to about like 10, and I vary them with like 3 major things that need to get done, 3 things that need to get done, but they're not necessarily like, they don't necessarily need to be done that day, but they are things that need to be taken care of. And then 3 like low level things. Low level things for me are like, reviewing receipts. Some companies have like a department that does that, like where, you send your customers like meal receipts, you send them to, like a particular adjuster or department. We don't really have that. Like we do have like a loss of use kind of department, but they only handle certain claims. So for some of these claims, I'm reviewing the loss of use myself. So I'm literally going through the customer's receipts, adding them to a spreadsheet, and paying them the access meals and stuff like that. So those are kind of my low level things. Those are things that I'll just put on some music and put my head down, get to work so I can just prepare the documents so I can get them paid. So yeah, that's basically it. But right now I do have like a bunch of closed claims that I'm working, which is so stressful. So yeah, just trying to get through everything, one claim at a time. But I can keep you guys posted throughout the day on like what has taken place, what I'll talk to with my supervisor. I've got like 2 big claims that I need to discuss with her, and then just some other, kind of random stuff. So yeah, I'll be around. Stay tuned. All right, you guys. So it's been a couple of hours. I had that meeting with my supervisor that I was telling you about, and we were able to get through a few things. So I was able to get some answers to some claims, like some claims questions that had been bugging me that I was trying to like just get off my desk. So I'm really happy about that. But I have this big ass estimate to write. The good thing is I had a flooring vendor go out, so I have their ESX, so I don't have to do like a full sketch. I know I've mentioned ESX before to you guys, but just as a refresher, if you don't know what that is, in Xactimate, you're able to kind of send, like once you create like a sketch and the estimate, you're able to send that shell to other people. Some companies will allow you to take an ESX, some don't. My company will allow us to take an ESX from a vendor that we work with that's on our program. So this vendor sent me his ESX, so I don't have to do like the full sketch on my own by hand. He uses DocuSketch, so it kind of did it for him and he sent it over to me. So I have the flooring line items, which is a blessing. It's like a mixture of tile and like some soft hardwood in a few places. And then I'm just going to add in like the drywall and paint and stuff like that. It's a big house though, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to do. I'm not really tripping on it, like, because at least I can kind of get this going, but I can like request the money to pay the claim and move it forward. We were basically trying to confirm coverage, and it was taking a while because I needed to collect like all this information from the insured. They were out of town when the loss happened, so we had to kind of do some background to see where they went out of town, confirm it wasn't like a long-term situation. So we did all that and we are good to go. So I was able to extend coverage to this guy today. He was very excited, and he can now move into like temporary housing because he was waiting for approval on that. So I'm going to try to get his, at least his preliminary stuff done by the end of the day because it's a pretty big claim. I just got a new claim for water damage, started upstairs and it went into the downstairs area. It's a landlord policy. So yeah, I'm gonna try to hop on that. Today's Wednesday. I am not going to be able to go and inspect anything tomorrow because I have this like class I have to take. And then Friday, I'm going to be at another inspection. So I'm going to shoot to do this inspection next Tuesday, but at least I can try to get like mitigation started if they need it and things like that. What else? Oh, I did have a vendor respond back to me. The claim that I'm going to inspect on Friday, I need a consultant, mitigation vendor, and a consultant general contractor. So I reached out to a couple of people, got approval to do so, reached out to a couple of people, and they both confirmed that they'll be able to meet me on Friday. So I'm very excited about that. It's a PA claim, and I just kind of want to go in guns blazing. Like, look, here are my people. We're going to meet with your people. Let's come to an agreement on scope so we can get this show on the road. And yeah, so far we're good. I am waiting on a couple of consultant estimates from 2 other claims that I have. And then today I have a conference call with an attorney about an old ass claim that I got transferred that they're like coming back asking for additional stuff. So the good thing is I got a lot of things done today. I have answers on the items that I need answers to, and I'm able to resolve at least a few of these claims so I can move on with my life. I will get back to you guys probably later on this afternoon, like during my conference call. I'll try to, well, I can't really capture it because, you know, privacy, but I'll see what I can do. I'll try to like get some of the audio of me like asking questions and stuff. Let me just kind of see how the call goes. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. If I can't get footage, then I'll at least kind of discuss with you guys what was said and how I'm going to resolve it. And then I will also get back with you to let you know how I'm going to be ending the day with my current workload. Hey y'all. Okay, so I'm back. I did actually have those calls that I told you about. I had 2. I think I only told you about 1, but I had 2. So I had one with a attorney's office and then one with a PA. So let me tell you about both of those and kind of like what the resolution is. So the attorney one, it was a claim from like June of 2023. I was the 4th adjuster to get it. We sent out an independent adjuster to do the initial inspection. And of course, sometimes things get lost in translation. It's a lot of like trying to, you know, review their photos, review the previous adjusters, coverage notes, why they denied something, this, that, and the third. So basically this attorney had some items that he wanted us to review because we were about $31,000 off on the cost of our estimate. When I reviewed my previous note, I denied like a couple of rooms because I'm like, there was no damage. According to the independent adjuster that went out, like going through their photos and their loss report, there was no damage in these rooms. So I can't pay for work in these rooms if there's no like damages. So they're saying that there was damages, and I can look at the mitigation estimate and I can see that and all that. So I pulled the mitigation estimate and I was able to confirm that there was 1 room that was left out, but that doesn't account for the other 2 rooms. So I got to go through those. And then there was like a roof situation, rainwater intrusion that was confirmed to be like wind damage to the roof that allowed water to come into the home. So I want to say we ended up paying for like a full roof replacement on this particular estimate. I don't know why we're off on that dollar amount because that was like the main thing that they wanted me to review. So I did review that and we were in agreement that the roof needs to be replaced. We had our consultant vendor's estimate and we had their estimate and it was only like a couple thousand off. So I think we just went on ahead with the attorney's estimate just to, you know, like resolve it. So I don't know why we're off there. Like maybe I missed some line items when I was doing the estimate. I don't know, but I will review that. But the good thing was I kind of got an idea of like what they're seeing versus what we're seeing. And when I went through the little bid comparison, side note, bid comparison, you just kind of like put your attorney or PA's estimate on one side and then you put your estimate on the other side and go through all of the trades to see where the differences are. Biggest difference that we have, a lot of it is like labor and then some of it is a roof. So once I resolve those, we'll be way closer in dollar amount and then I can move this off my desk forever. Because this is one of those closed claims that I'm working. So I need to get this on the road, and they do too. Especially because I mean we coming up on the end of 2024, and this happened like mid 2023. Like, what are we doing? So yeah, I told them to give me a week to resolve that because I got to go through all the documents and photos and all that jazz. So that's one thing. Then I've got the PA claim. I was trying to resolve this one on my own. So if y'all know me, I'm big on like if I can do it myself, I'm gonna do it myself. Like I feel like I can do it quicker and I can do it like the way I want it to be done as opposed to calling somebody else out to do it. But sometimes the insurance company doesn't agree with me. They're like, oh, we need to sign a contractor so we can get an agreement. I'm like, but I can I'm not a contractor, right? But I can review the estimate and tell you what's needed versus what's not. Like, I do know enough to do that. I used to do it in my previous job. But okay, if you want me to send out a contractor, that's fine. So that was basically what happened. I was reviewing this PA's estimate and I went through all the photos, went through all the documentation, and I picked out the items that I know we owed. I wrote a partial denial, a good partial denial for the items that I know we didn't owe. I sent it for approval and I got denied. So their feedback was, oh, did you get a consultant? Did you or the previous adjuster get a consultant contractor? I said no, but I'll go ahead and do that now. So apparently the contractor went on site and was telling the PA that they have to write the estimate a certain way, for our program. And I'm like, well, don't worry about all that. Like, don't let that, make you feel away. When I get the estimate, I'm going to review it. And if there's something that I need to add that I can justify as owed, I'll add it. If it's not owed, I'm not going to add it. And I'm going to write you a partial denial. So you don't worry about that. Just let me do my job. So that was pretty much it there. So now I'm going to work on that estimate that I was telling you guys about today, that big ass estimate that I need to complete so I can get some money to pay this claim. So I'm about to work on that for the rest of the day. Because I need, whatever I do, I got to get that out before the end of the day, because tomorrow I have like some other stuff I need to work on. And then Friday I'm going to be in the field. Monday I'm going to be in the field now, which I normally wouldn't do, but this is a water loss and I need to confirm coverage. So I'm going to be busy in these streets Friday and Monday. So I basically have the rest of today and then tomorrow to get some stuff done. So yeah, I will be around, okay? But I'm about to just start working on those things, updating my notes in those files so I do not forget our conversations. And yeah, I'll get back with you guys before the end of the day to let you know how I wrap it all up. What's up, you guys? So I did not end the video yesterday like I had planned to, and that is my apologies. That estimate I was telling you about, I was working on that until like the end of time. It took me forever to write that estimate, and it wasn't even like it was a hard estimate. It was just I had to go like back and forth between like pictures, because I had like pre-demo photos and then I had post-demo photos that I took when I did my inspection. So I was trying to remember like what material was in what room and how far up the flood cuts were for the drywall. Like, it was a lot. So it took me a minute to just kind of like go through that. Then I had to apply depreciation, go back through it, make sure I included everything. And yeah, it was a lot. Then, okay, so after the estimate was complete, I had to then turn around and write this report because I had to ask for reserves to pay the claim. And it's like a pretty big claim. I want to say my reserves on that one with dwelling, personal property, and contents. I'm sorry, dwelling, personal property, and ALE ended up being like around 300,000 ish. So yeah, it's a pretty big claim, and it might even go over that depending on the price of materials. So yeah, it was a lot happening, and I think by the time I logged out, I did like a little bit of overtime. My son was here, my husband was here, so I ended up just kind of logging off, tending to them, making dinner, working out, that kind of thing. So anyways, I wanted to close out the video. If you enjoyed, it wasn't a lot going on. It was just mostly like me at my desk and taking calls and all that kind of stuff. But that is really what it looks like being an adjuster, unless you're going out into the field, which I am tomorrow. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, definitely go on ahead and give me a thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you have not subscribed yet and you've made it this far, please go on ahead and click that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything from me. And with that, you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.
Future, you mad? They don't salute you. I need a bag, size is super. They turned your bag, it's like I never knew.